Okay, bro, we're live.
We're live. Awesome. Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
I'm tired of uploading, so we're doing this live. We're going live. Fuck it.
Yeah, no, let's do it. Bro, it's good we're going live because look at all these people. Come here for a sec. Look at all these people that want to see our podcast.
Okay, well, it's hard to me to film because it's using the front camera.
Like, here.
I mean, I got you there.
Come up here. Like, I posted in this acrylic painting group. Does anyone want to watch the podcast about the business side of art? And then all these people said yes. So, like, there's lots of people that want this information. I'm really, really excited to be providing it and helping other people out there that want to do what I wanted to do, which is, work full time as an artist and make my living from my own hands and my own mind and ripple out awesome vibes to everybody that's receiving them. That's in that space. So,
the art market doesn't have a Gary V, which is basically the art market doesn't have someone that fucking just keeps telling you can do it. If they do, it's just an artist that's doing it.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And the person never turns around and says you could do it too. They're too busy doing it.
Yeah, no, it's true, and that's a motivation for me for doing this because I'll be honest, for me, motivational material is a big part of what keeps me driven and keeps me focused and keeps me learning. Stuff like Tony Robbins and Gary Vaynerchuk and Wayne Dyer and those kind of people. Like, I absorb their content and I seek it out because I want to stay positive and I want to stay motivated, and it helps me do that. But when I was, for the last 7 years researching how to make a career as an artist, there's lots of little advice here and there and little pieces and everything, but there's no one person or two people or podcast or there's no real art motivational speaker. So I don't want to be a motivational speaker, but I do. I want to motivate people to follow their passions, and in relation to wanting to make art a career, I actually can be helpful with that with a lot of practical advice and information, and so can Germ.
Well, one thing that I realized is that throughout the course of my careers, especially in the art career now that I have, the majority of my business is just cheering people up.
You're so right.
It's not even like the art is just the medium that cheers people up. So when you really boil it down to its base element, you're just entertaining. And if you entertain in a lighthearted way and get them to be at a higher vibrational frequency, you're motivating. But really, you're just a good role model.
And it's interesting that you bring that up because for me, entertainment is a thing, but for me, I think sort of the mission behind my art, as much as entertainment, is to give people faith in what they're doing, faith in the fact that you can do it.
Yeah, your original story was that you sobered up, and that was your original motivation that you were putting out. What is it now?
Well, really, my motivation, and even from the get-go, I was sobering up and stuff, but that was part of art, was part of what helped me stay sober because I had something new to focus on. But my mission with my art career has always been and will always be that I want people who have their own desires and passions and their own goals, their own dreams, their own visions, they want to start a business, etc., to do it. Just to do it. I want to be an example to people of somebody who took their dream and made it real. And part of the reason we're doing this podcast now, and I know Germ thinks the same way, is to document how we did that and how we are doing that so that other people can learn from us, like we learned from watching other people do it and hearing their stories about how they did it and getting messages from artists about yo man, I'll be honest, in my case I collected Chris Dyer's art, and if I messaged him hey man, how can I do this, or where can I get these made, or what do you recommend about, do you think this is a good idea or not, he'll actually answer me because we have that relationship. So I want to help provide those tidbits of information to anyone who's interested in scooping them up.
And I think it's really important. If you're an artist, you're a solo entrepreneur. At the start, you're going at it alone. And that's unlike most businesses. Most
true.
businesses, you get a loan and you start bankrolling someone to take care of some of the dirtier tasks. Or it would be a team effort. In art, it's not a team effort. So at first, you do have to learn how to be a business person alongside an artist. And you have to be both at the same time. And I think an artist has to be both till the end of days.
Yeah. And I think, like at the same time, it's not like you have to be a, ultra businessman today. Like it's a process. Like, any business person who started businesses was not a business person right out of the womb. They had to learn. They had to have.
It's a matter of experience.
It's a matter of experience. It's a matter of having mentors or like people that you can emulate, that you follow. One thing I recommend for artists to do that want to turn their art into a career is to get into entrepreneur circles, not just art circles, because you'll learn a lot about the business side of running a business from other entrepreneurs.
What's your elevator pitch?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have an elevator pitch?
Do you know what an elevator pitch is?
An elevator pitch is basically just that. If I get in an elevator with you, can you pitch the idea before I get out, even if it's the next floor? And if you can't, then you fucked up.
Now let's rewind even further, because I know what a pitch is. I worked in call centers for 17 years. What's a pitch? What's a pitch?
Can you effectively tell your story? Can you effectively relay to another human being who you are and what you do? And if you're really good, why you do it?
Yeah.
That's the ultimate pitch. If you can say the who, what, where, not even the where. Fuck it, jump to the why.
Yeah.
They don't need to know where and how. We're living in the internet age, baby. I'll ship it to you.
Exactly. I mean, like if you went through the art school system type of thing, then what we're talking about might be referred to more as like an artist statement or whatever.
But would they even tell them to bring up a why? I have like a feeling that in art school they would just not even.
I'll be honest, I didn't go to art school.
Neither did I. So you tell me in the comments below. Did they tell you about why?
I'll also be honest, almost all the artists who hire me for business consulting did go to art school. And they have terrible habits when it comes to, and beliefs when it comes to how they're going to make a career out of their art.
Yeah, I don't want to throw any names under a bus, but if you went to school, chances are I don't hold your business intellect in high regards.
It all depends on who you are too. There's still hustlers that went to art school, but art school focuses on how to make art, not how to make a career as an artist.
But even like some of the best artists, like I was an entrepreneur since I've been 18, okay, and I'm like 32. So sometimes I see effective artists, and a part of me laughs because they still do things that are laughable. That a business person would just be like, what are you even doing?
Yeah, no, that's very true. And, that's part of why we're doing this. We're not doing this to shoot down those artists. We're trying to bring them up. We're trying to show them, like,
hey, reality check.
Reality check that you're going to die. Like, you're going to die.
Get it right. So, get your business right, okay?
Yeah, because, it's waiting for that magical connection, that magical other person who's going to sell your art for you is gonna be a long wait. And the only way you're gonna find that person quicker is if you can prove to that person that your art already sells.
And then they'll sell it too. They're gonna sell it. They're gonna sell it too.
Yeah, and
you're gonna continue. They're gonna start, and then other people will start as well.
Whoa!
We have lost
technical difficulties.
This is what it's like going live with us now.
So and. Part of the reason that I mention that is anyone who's better at selling art than you already has a reputation for selling art, because selling art just doesn't happen overnight. You have to own a gallery or something like that, or be a dealer. And oh, it's when I freaking get a message. The phone's vibrating. I gotta turn that off later. So you gotta turn that off.
I gotta tell people stop messaging me. Yo, I'm trying to do a live here.
So what was I saying? Now I got all off.
That you have to sell.
Okay, yeah. So whoever's gonna sell your art, if it's a gallery owner is in the art world. They're very experienced. They know about art buyers. They know about the art market. They know they have expenses to pay, etc. So to get your art into one of those places, you're gonna have to sell that gallery owner on why they should invest their resources, their employees' salaries, their rent, their everything else on their resources on selling your art if you can't already sell your art. If you're not willing to work hard enough to sell your own art, then you're not going to be willing to work to help that gallery promote your show either.
It's it. They're gonna take a 50%. I swear to God, stop messing with me.
You just turn off the vibrator, take
I don't know how.
and do it.
I don't know how. I don't know how.
How do you not know how to turn off the vibrator on your phone?
Because I have to go in options and all that stuff, and that's not what this is about. This is about going live.
Yeah, okay.
It just makes it better.
Does it make it better, or is it going to annoy the hell out of people?
Oh, it's probably going to annoy the hell out of me.
It's annoying the hell out of me, I gotta be real honest.
Okay, now.
Now our heads are cut off.
Okay, hold on. Let me be the frame master here. Okay. I think I got it. Now there's nowhere for this phone to go. It's wedged between my bootleg mug and Cosm's magazine.
There we go.
Okay, look, I'm going to jump in and tell you guys the secret on how you get picked up by a gallery.
I'll be right back.
You go for it. I'm going to tell you the underhanded secret that they don't want you to know. Some artists that get picked up by a gallery, they have a tactic. And their tactic is they stalk the gallery owner. They find out behind the scenes who his name is, where he lives, and what passage he takes to work. And then they start affecting it. So, let's just tap you so the focus goes back. Okay. So in this scenario where we're talking about social media and getting into a gallery, there are some artists that will target the gallery owner and start commenting and liking their posts. The phenomenon that happens is the owner starts to think that it's just a normal occurrence and that that artist does it to pretty much everyone and isn't aware that they are being targeted. Eventually you become a mainstay in that gallery owner's life, and then they think that they found you and they get confused. That is a real tactic, people. As malicious as you may think it is, it goes on in this world. So if you see people getting ahead in life and you're not, maybe you should consider targeting your audience.
Maybe you should consider just talking to people and sharing your story and connecting with other people who are interested in the things you are.
Well, be part of the scene, you know what I mean? Like, it's pretty, I don't even want it. It's just like a privileged way to think that just because you make art, that someone really needs to pay attention and buy your art. There are thousands of artists in this world. Some have more experience than you. Some make better art than you. So it's very humbling to just put your head down, do your work, and be part of the scene, and know that as time passes, you'll get your...
Honestly, and I'll be totally honest,
get your harvest.
It's fun. If you're a struggling artist and you're having a hard time getting your art out there and people aren't buying it and you're not sure how to market it, you can build resentment towards the world. You can start to doubt how good your art is. You build all these self-doubts, and it can be a crushing experience. It's not fun. But once you start commenting on other people's posts that you're trying to connect with, and do that consistently for a few weeks, you're going to start to see results where you're actually going to start to build relationships with people that are interested in the same things as you.
It's going to be community.
You won't be facing this rejection from those people. You'll be getting encouragement from those people. You'll be getting feedback from those people, and you'll be getting networking with those people. Eventually, when you want to do something like have your show or get in a gallery, or you've got a new painting to share, or whatever it is, those people might come and return the favor for you and comment on your post and give you a like and share your post or something like that.
It's refreshing to be part of a community.
It is.
You know that people have your back. You know people are going through the same struggles as you, and there's someone to turn to when you need an answer. I can't tell you how many people message me asking for the tidbits and the tricks of the trade. And some of you don't deserve the tips and the tricks. I might give you some, but I withhold more because you're not ready. If you're coming out asking for it like that, you're not ready, and that's why it can't be given. Because if it was given, you would shit the bed with it. So that's the truth. That's the truth. If you're listening to this and you got some tips for me, know that I'm holding a lot more.
Now here's another huge tip that I want to give everyone, and I noticed that somebody
Is this
commented.
gonna help them get more tips?
Oh yes, somebody commented in the group on one of my posts the other day that there's a lot more unsuccessful artists than successful artists, and I replied that there's a lot more artists who have never Googled how to sell art and read all the articles and implemented the advice they read. So, that's part of it. If you want to learn how to sell art, don't just listen to us.
But that's
Google how to sell art.
But that's the case in all business, okay?
Yes.
In all business,
100%.
it's like I forget the number. It's wild how many businesses fold and fail. It's like 10% of all businesses will be successful.
And that's
the actual truth.
And
but it's really what it is. It's the person behind steering the wheel that has belief and confidence and does the right moves. The other ones don't listen. They're stubborn and they do it their own way, and they hit a wall and they die.
Yeah, and I mean that's where the passion part comes in, and that's what I think as artists we're lucky. And that's why we talked about it's easier to start an art business than any other business. It really, really is. You don't have to invest a ton of money, and hopefully you have a passion behind it. Because if you don't have a passion for the business, if you're trying to start a security company that installs home security systems and you don't have a passion for that, you just want to make money and try and get in the market and marketing numbers you might not make it. If you've been robbed and you've lost your sense of security and your feeling of being safe in your own home because somebody broke into your house and robbed you.
Now you're relatable.
Now you have a passion for that. Now you're going to work 10 times harder to make that home security company work. Now being an artist is kind of the same thing. If you're doing it because you have a passionate reason, because it keeps you focused, it helps you spiritually or in a healing sense, as in like an art therapy where it keeps you distracted from things that bother you. For me, it was like getting over drug and alcohol addiction. Like for those first few months I had cravings, and when I had cravings I would channel those into making art, and lo and behold, before I knew it, those cravings were gone and I was off on a journey making all this art, and it was amazing.
I had people messaging me talking about You're Gonna Die. Did it on the Instagram stories last night or the day before, and people really resonate with the whole, because of those negative aspects of life, you flip the script on them. So you're taking your cravings and you're turning it into art. It's a lot about that form of alchemy. The things that plague you don't have to plague you. In fact, they could be the fuel for the fire. So in this scenario, if there's something that's holding you back, use it to your advantage.
And that's something we got to bring up here, because I don't know if you guys watched the last episode, but if you didn't, go back, watch episode 2. These You're Gonna Die shirts that we're both wearing right now were a joke we came up with during the last episode. But instead of just having this idea and letting it disappear and not doing anything about it, we did something about it. And
throw money at it.
Now we've got these
Take
You're
this
Gonna
money,
Die
make
shirts. And after this live video ends, I'm gonna put the link down here where you can go buy one. And the reason we made these is because of the message.
Oh, and also because we're gonna
message.
start joke businesses, and we're gonna show you that you could fucking start a business like this. You're Gonna Die. Doesn't have my art. Doesn't have his art.
You're right.
But it's a successful business if we apply the right successful business tactics to it, and that's what we're gonna show you with this shirt.
And
it's also a good.
It's a good message, because look,
good way to broadcast the podcast. You know.
It is, but what we brought up in our last episode is the message of putting a rainbow "You're Gonna Die" on a black shirt. It's a rainbow. You're gonna die. It's not a negative message. It's a positive thing. For me, that message means, hey, focus. Do these things that you love. Stop sitting in front of the TV binge watching garbage just so you can talk with other people who binge watch garbage. Like, if you have dreams and aspirations that you're trying to make happen, you can't be binge watching crap every night, 7, and all weekend. It's just not going to work.
It's not good for you guys.
It's not good for you. It's not going to. If that's your passion and you want to write a blog about all these things that you binge watch and get other people who are into these things that you binge watch,
that's awesome.
That's very possible. But if you're an artist and you want to make a career as an artist, binge watching shit on TV isn't going to help.
The reality of self-sabotage.
Self-sabotage.
It's a real thing. And I think this shirt kind of addresses that by going to the extreme of the sabotage, which is you're going to die. Suicide is a self-sabotage. It is. That results in death. So you're going to die. It's almost bringing that to the forefront in the sense that a lot of the times, all those little things that you do, squandering your money, squandering your time, squandering your resources, that's self-sabotage, and you have to own up and just know that that's what it is. Call it for what it is, and you will see once the light shines on it, you'll see it.
Another way people self-sabotage themselves is by playing the victim. Like for example, sometimes people.
I thought he was gonna bring up his Facebook story.
Sometimes people will see my art and they'll see that I make mandalas, and they'll comment on my thing. Oh, well, that's why you make money. Your art is commercial. And I'm like, okay, like, do you know how many thousands of mandala artists are out there and have never sold anything? It's not my art. It's my dedication to learning how to make my art into something that people want to buy by sharing a story and being.
I forget that. I was at a gallery. I was at a gallery yesterday, and they had $16,000 paintings all the way to $300 paintings. And the $300 paintings, hey, they're nicer. In fact, they're worked by hand, and I see the human touch. The 16,000, it's a print. It's a print collage. So in this scenario, the self-sabotage is on the person who didn't know their worth. Because you know what? Someone's going to come in, a full-on noob, a full-on... You hate these people if you're an artist. They're going to come in, and they're going to go see $16,000, and they're going to think, that's legit. They're going to see your $300 piece, and they're going to go, eh. Just on price alone. They're just looking at price. And you're trying to come in nice, and you're like, oh, I don't feel like I'll be able to sell. So you self-sabotage, you put your price at $300, and now nobody wants to buy it. Now, you're not selling, and it's because you're in a gallery where you shouldn't have that price tag.
I'll be really honest with you. In this situation, the fault is not on the artist. The fault is on the gallery.
For explaining?
There should not be $300 paintings in a gallery next to $16,000 paintings.
Bro,
it doesn't make sense.
Freaking out. Like, the artist is going to get $100? What was the point?
But this goes back to the point of, like, when you're pricing your art, if you're an artist, a lot of people, when they're new at pricing their art, they think that people want a good deal on art. People who collect art don't want a good deal. They want a good investment. And if they see a $300 painting next to a $16,000 painting, they're going to think the $300 painting is by an amateur, unprofessional artist, and that's why it's only $300. Mm-hmm. So
could be a great investment. They just don't believe it.
It could be, but they don't believe it, and they won't believe it if it's next to a $16,000 painting. If it's next to a $500 painting and a $700 painting and a $1,200 painting that's much bigger, yeah, maybe they'll believe it. But I'll be honest, that mistake was on the gallery owner and not the artist. Maybe it was also on the artist for not having scoped out the gallery and seeing that this gallery owner does that.
I just think it's the two sides of the street, you know? They asked how much the person should have priced it at. That person gave an answer. They should have...
Oh, was it a pay-to-play gallery?
No. This is the fucking big time. This is the big show.
Now let's talk about what a pay-to-play gallery is.
Oh, those are in my opinion, the worst. A guy hits you up, hey, give me $100 and I won't take a commission from your sales. Mm-hmm. What are you trying to say? I'm going to pay you $100. I'm going to advertise your fucking show, because it ain't a gallery, it's that guy's show. So I'm going to get people in to see his art, and he's going to collect $100 on everyone. My boy.
That's one kind of pay-to-play gallery. There's another kind of pay-to-play gallery where you pay. They are a gallery. They have a retail space. They're called, really nice art gallery.
Where they just have the real estate?
And they have the real estate, and they charge you rent to hang your art on the wall. And the thing with those galleries is they have no incentive.
They have no network.
They have no network. They don't have an advertising budget. They don't get people in because they have no incentive to sell your art. They pay their bills by you paying the rent, not by selling art.
So avoid them at all costs.
Avoid them at all costs. The only way I'd ever...
They know that artists are willing to chomp at the bit. They know that you'll pay to have a chance, and you're getting...
There is one way you can play that to work out for you very well. If you make a deal with one of these gallery owners that's in a really nice place, like say you're from middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, and you get one of these pay-to-play galleries to put your painting up there for a month, and you put it on the wall, and you make sure you take a whole lot of pictures and post them on social media about how now your art's in a gallery in New York, that's a way to play it that is great for marketing, but don't expect to actually sell any art that way.
That's really smart. So just using the right spot, getting the right flicks, which would just make your art career look better. So you're basically doing a marketing stunt.
Exactly.
And that would be that's a wise move.
Mm-hmm. But like I say, don't go into this expecting to actually sell art.
Look for someone who wants a percentage. Someone who wants a percentage of your thing is someone that's willing to get the payment after the fact. And we all love it when it's after the fact. A lot of artists feel that 50%, 60% rake on the gallery is a rape. What do you think?
I think that it really depends on the gallery. Because I'll be totally honest with you, I did a lot of research about art galleries, and a lot of them go out of business within the first 5 years.
Oh.
Personally, I know I'm going to be an artist for a lot longer than 5 years. I do zero effort trying to get into galleries. Zero. I don't call any, I don't talk to gallery owners, I don't hit them up on Instagram. I am not trying to get into galleries right now. And the reason is because any of the galleries that I would be able to get into right now at my career level wouldn't be super high-end professional galleries. Say, for example, I have a gallery show at ABC Gallery, and somebody buys one of my paintings at ABC Gallery for $5,000. First of all, I'm going to have to give ABC Gallery 40 to 50%. Second of all, ABC Gallery might close in 2 years. And then when this person who bought that painting there wants to get another one, they go back, drive by, see that ABC Gallery is now halal shawarma restaurant, and they think I'm out of business. They won't look further for me.
So you definitely want to work with someone who's established, who ain't gonna be a Johnny come lately.
Exactly, because selling art is hard. It's not easy, even if you own a gallery.
No, you have to prove that it sells, and then the gallery will come. So it's so hard that you have to prove it first. Proof of concept is what it's called in business. When you can prove that this thing sells, then you don't even need the gallery. And when you don't need the gallery, that's when the gallery comes. Yeah, it's a very strange world.
I'll be honest, like
I want to put in my 2 cents about the 50% rake and all that stuff.
Okay, please do.
It's an amazing situation if someone wants to sell and you don't have to be there and they take 50%. It's great. The one downside to it is if they pull out a contract and they say that you need to fix your prices based on their prices. That, to me, in this market, it's a no-no. Okay, we're in an international market. If somebody in my local town wants me to sign on a dotted line saying that I can't sell to Japan, they're crazy. Because they don't reach Japan. I reach Japan. I'm big in Japan. You know? And no, but it's just that vibe of like, and I've seen artists that it happens to. They sign on the dotted line, they're all stoked, and then lo and behold, now your prices are locked at a specific price. Right? Like the gallery sells it for $5,000. You can't be selling canvases at home for $2,000 because then why would they go to the gallery? So they sometimes make you sign that. And that's, to me, where you have to be a good business person. You have to finagle your way out of that. So the best tip, sign for a style. Give them a style. Give them a series. Yeah, you got a series. Yeah, I'm locked on a price on a series. But someone comes to my house and wants another series, you didn't sign for that. You know what I mean? And if you're really big, make them pay up front for the canvases. Give them the 50% deal. They can buy it at a discount for 50%, and then they can make their money. But they chose the canvases that they thought would sell. And they don't have any say on the new one, the one from last year. You know what I mean? Like, some of them still remain yours. And there are galleries in Montreal that do that.
See, now, for me personally, that wouldn't work for me because a huge part of my art career is sticking to 2 styles. I'm not gonna make.
Yeah, but what if a gallery came and said, "Hey, Pacific Northwest, you haven't posted it yet. I'm willing to buy it for 50% of the sales tag price. That's right there, and I want it 50% because I'm trying to sell it for double."
I would say no.
Buy it for the price.
No, I wouldn't sell Pacific Northwest to a gallery.
Is there any canvas that you would sell to a gallery that you have right now, and you have to take a cut on it? You have to like. Whatever the sales price is, they want to knock off so that they can make some cash.
And it goes back to what I was saying before. It depends on the gallery. If I Google the gallery and they opened 2 years ago and they've had 3 shows and I contact those artists and they're like, nah, nothing sold, man, then no.
Well, that's the situation. In the art world, there's a lot of pro bono work that goes on. Oh, for exposure. Oh, you know, like an artist gets hit up by a gallery and they fantasize. They don't even have time to Google. They're already lost in their fucking fantasy about... It's a gallery.
And
And they made it. And you're right that they should Google and check. If this gallery just opened, they're hustling you.
Mhm.
They're basically coming at you, and they should be paying something, but they're getting free work. Bro, I can't get my bathroom renovated for free. I can't get the fence built around the house for free. Bro, people are going to come in, they're going to see the work that you did on that fence in that bathroom, and they're going to want their shower done too. The guy's going to tell me to fuck off.
Mhm.
The guy's
No,
going
it's
to
very
legit
true.
tell me he's going to be rude.
Now,
He's
look,
going to say,
and
fuck off.
I'm going to bring something up about why a lot of these galleries fail, and I'm going to be like, it's just the truth.
They're bad at business.
It is, but you know how a lot of artists, they make art and then they have this big dream, they want to be an art career, and then the reality of how much you have to work sets in, and you're like, I don't really want to be an artist anymore. Galleries are the same thing. A lot of galleries get opened by art collectors. They're art collectors that are passionate, they have a career doing something else, and they open an art gallery thinking they're going to help these artists whose art they collect and other artists and build this art scene around this whole thing. And they throw money into it, but they're not there because they have their other career that makes them money, and they think this thing is just going to automatically run, and it doesn't. It's a business. You have to have connections. You have to build networks. You have to have collectors. You have to pay salaries. You have to pay rent. You have to pay insurance. You have to pay like the business, electricity, all that nice lighting to make a gallery look good. Then you have to rearrange it every time there's a new show. You have to pay employees to hang it. You have to have somebody that packs your art and ships it when it sells and make sure that they do that properly. You have to have somebody that frames it. Like, running a gallery is very expensive. Mm-hmm. So a lot of these art collectors that get into it with all these spiritual and what's the word, good intentions, but they don't understand the business part of it. And within 2-3 years, they're done. So keep that in mind. Art galleries are not a guarantee of selling art. They're just not. There's no more guarantee of selling art when your art is in a gallery than you're guaranteed to sell your art by posting it on social media. Mm-hmm. So my recommendation is, instead of, if you've been making art for 20 years and it's selling and you've got a huge collector base, yeah, man, be looking into getting these reputable galleries that have awesome reputations. Be hitting them up. Be following them. Yeah. But if you're a beginner, and to be honest, that's who I'm mostly talking to in these podcasts, is people who are really just at that, foundation stage of learning how to make their art a career, then don't even fucking worry about galleries.
Yeah, let me go back to when I first started. I worried about galleries when I first started. I think all artists do. They think about galleries a little bit. The truth is, you're not ready. If I look back at me 3 years ago, and yes, I've only been doing art on canvas for 3 years, the style was like, I was looking for this look on a canvas where you want to exchange money for this. Okay? And that takes time and failures, and people have bought canvases that I consider not up to par, but then again, they're good, but they're not great. And it took so many of those. And luckily people supported me and they bought the very goods, but not like the super awesomes, because I'm still trying to figure them out.
And let's be honest, I was the same way.
So you just have to sit down and work. And after a couple years, dude, now you give me a blank canvas.
Let's be honest though.
Chances are it's leaving in 24
hours. How many of those canvases that you probably should have sold for $400 or $500, how many of them did you let go for $50 or $100? Let's be honest.
I still do. Not $50.
I let a whole bunch. I started selling.
I just sold one for $600, and it's a $1,000 painting. And tonight I'm gonna be moving one that's $1,000, and I'm probably not gonna see $1,000 on it. Even though in my heart the person should not get it if they do not give me $1,000. But because it's my friend, there's a breaking point at one point. But the truth is, that person's going to put that canvas in their house. Every fucking person that comes in the house is going to mention that canvas and then associate them with the coolness of that canvas that I put into that canvas.
That's true.
That's worth more than $1,000.
Now here's another reason I brought this up, is when you're a beginner like I was, when I started painting, I lived in Costa Rica. The average salary in Costa Rica is around $600 US a month. So people just don't have a lot of disposable income to be spending on luxury items like art. So I was selling my art for literally $8 for a 4x4 inch painting, or $16 for an 8x8 inch painting. Like, I really wasn't valuing my art. But you know what? By making those sales at those low prices to people who weren't really serious art collectors and they weren't looking at it as an investment, they just wanted that little cool thing that wasn't too expensive, all of a sudden I started proving to everyone else that there was a market for my art, that people were buying my art. And when you're a new artist, that's going to be what you have to do. You're going to have to start making sales to prove concept
And I think
to everyone else.
I think we both resonate on that belief system that you got to move the canvas no matter what. Not free, but you got to move it.
Mm-hmm.
If the price of the now obviously the person is lowballing you and it's disrespectful, it's disrespectful. But if the person is it's close, it's anywhere close to what you need to move it for, you got to move it. You got to put that money back into art and you got to bankroll it and just keep going.
Yeah, and you got to
don't stack it in a room. You stack it in a room, you're eventually going to have 8 stacked in that room after a couple months. That's going to be a depressive hit when you walk in that room.
You know what? You brought up a concept that I really want to talk about. Your art bank. Your art bank. Making deposits into your art bank. When you are an artist and you're just starting out, you need to make a lot of art. First of all, you have more time to make art because you don't have a huge network of social medias and tons of people following you. You're not getting tons of messages in your DMs. You're not getting tons of comments on your posts. You have time to make art. So make lots of art, because all the art you're making at the beginning of your career is going to be deposits you're making into your art bank. They might not sell right away. Some of them might not sell for years, but they're in there gaining interest. When you're at that beginning part of your art career,
it depends if the style's not that great.
That's why I stick to one style. All my art is the same style from 7 years ago, and that's why I strongly recommend.
I mean, like the style's going to develop. Like your art here. Let me show you. Is it Velcroed? The red and black one?
Which red and black?
The moose one there, right there. Is that Velcroed?
Moose one?
The black and red and white.
Oh, yeah, no.
No,
I don't think that's Velcro.
Okay, so let me get that one.
None of them are Velcro. They're not Velcro. They're 3M picture hanging strips. They're made to hang art.
Why can't I just call it Velcro? So this is one of his earlier paintings. I think it's pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
So as he said, he kept a similar style, but the finesse that you eventually learned, and the symmetry and the lines and just everything, all the toolbox of patterns that you could fill with, that's what increased the value of paintings over time.
No, it's not. What increases the value of paintings over time is the artist's reputation.
But your reputation is
this painting.
Your representation is
this painting. I guarantee you, one day I'm going to sell it for probably more money than any of my new paintings. Why? Because it's an early painting. If you're an art collector and an art investor, buying an artist's earliest works is the best investment. Why? Because at that point in the artist's career, the artist wasn't serious. They were selling art to people who weren't serious art collectors, so maybe those people moved and they didn't pay a lot for the art.
You're probably going to lose the art. They
didn't care about it. It got thrown in the garbage. Exactly. So for a lot of, once you get well known, your early works are actually going to be worth a lot more than the work you're making currently.
Okay.
And another reason is the story. The story of an artist starting from nothing and becoming something. If you have something from that seed period, people are going to want to see it because they're going to want to see that janky shit that you were making.
But how many pieces in the art bank is too many pieces in the art
None.
bank?
There's no such thing.
I don't believe that. I believe that there's a depressive amount of canvases in the stock. I don't like it when my walls are full and then canvases get stocked in my bedroom or something. Because when they're getting stocked, that's the risk of damage. Also, hold on, when I go to someone's house and it's bubble wrapped and ready to ship, bro, I hate that. What is that about? Someone comes over, I can't even see the fucking painting because it's in bubble wrap. Oh, hold on, let me show you the JPEG I took 3 weeks ago. And they show me a JPEG. Art sells in person.
I've never had that situation happen where I've gone over and somebody's art has been wrapped in bubble wrap, unless they just got back from a gallery show.
Oh no, this is a legit thing that happens. That people make art. They make great art. They price it a bit too pricey, and
then they bubble wrap it to protect it.
Oh, dude.
If you're doing that, you're
like 12 of them are bubble wrapped and stacked. Okay? To me,
that's like having a restaurant and expecting people to order food without being able to walk in and smell it.
I know, you gotta have it on. You gotta risk it. Take out the bubble wrap, and also lower your fucking price. Okay? If it's not moving, you lower your price.
Now here's a way that.
And I'm not saying fucking make it free, but lower your price.
Here's why I don't think there's ever too many deposits in your art bank. Because if you have paintings stacking up in your house, now is when you go out and you're not like professional yet. Now is when you go out and you start hitting up cafes and you start hitting up bookstores and you start hitting up whatever and being like, "Hi, I'm an artist. I want to put my art on your wall for exposure."
So yeah, let me get
now your art.
Let
bank,
me get you the
now,
real tactic
now
here.
all those deposits you made in your art bank are gaining interest.
Yeah. So I have one cafe that I run the show at, and I don't want any other ones because it can become a nightmare when 4 pieces sell fast and you need to redo this whole fucking thing. Imagine you had multiple scenarios like that where you're trying to fill in gaps because what you're doing is
Then it's good to have lots in your art bank.
Possibly, but in my situation, they have to be of a consistent style. I'm pretty much a designer, so like I'm not gonna give the guy 4 different canvases. I don't think that makes any sense at all. In fact, it ruins the room. So when you go into a cafe as an artist, you have a very powerful bargaining chip. You can make his place make more money. If it looks nicer, people will stay longer, come back more often,
pay more
for food. You have to understand that and be confident when you talk to the owner. You control the wall. There's no percentage to him. No, he's already cleaning up his percentage. When people come in and they're talking about it, yesterday I went to my cafe. I brought in this Kenny painting. Okay, it's from my house. It got
Who's Kenny? This Kenny painting. Anyone that doesn't
Kenny from South Park.
Anyone that doesn't follow you on your
Kenny
Instagram watching this doesn't know.
Well, nobody knows. It's Kenny from South Park. I had it hanging at YAG. It got a little bit of a canvas damage. It got ripped.
What?
Yeah, I'm not gonna hold it to the boys because like who cares, right? It got ripped. It's a 4-foot canvas that got ripped slightly. So I bring this into the cafe because I need to fill some holes and whatever. The owner's like, I don't know if I like it. Do you know what I did to that fool? I surveyed everybody in the place live in his face because that's how confident I am. And he's just an old cat. He doesn't understand a Nike logo and a fucking Kenny from South Park. But when people started telling him, whoa, what? And I literally said, what do you think? The owner doesn't like it. They all said, what? It's awesome. And when he heard, what? It's awesome, he shut his fucking mouth. And listen, that's the play that you gotta do. You gotta go in there and be confident. You are sprucing up the place. Now, with that said, don't go in there and put like small inks and fucking only put them in one spot and leave the whole place blank. Like really invest in yourself and really learn a little bit about designing a spot, you know? Like,
another thing,
absorb the spot. If it's not right for your art, drop it. Don't go there.
Another thing you need to do if you're going to do this, and I don't know if Germ does it or not, but I strongly recommend it, is if your art's there for sale, hang a little card with your phone number or your email where people can get in touch with you. Because the dude that owns the cafe sells coffee and sandwiches. He doesn't sell art. So
hold on though, he's there all the time because he fucking is passionate about his business.
This
and crushes it.
Now
so
that,
yes,
now
that boy definitely.
How long have you
art.
had your art there?
Fuck man, almost 3 years.
There you go. At the very, very beginning, was he good at selling your art?
At the very beginning, he wasn't there. It was actually another owner who.
So there you go. My point is, put your phone number and your email there because whoever's in the cafeteria, the owner, whoever made the deal with you to hang your art there they're not there all the time. If the cafe is open 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., the owner ain't there all the time. I guarantee you.
Sam is there. I promise you, and he knows everyone's name.
Okay, well, Sam is awesome.
He's amazing. He's like one of the best businessmen you'll ever meet. So, look for a cafe where the owner's actually there, invested interest, they're passionate, they are actually gonna talk you up.
Yeah. Okay, that's amazing if you can find a place like that, but let's be honest, a lot of cafes don't have that. So
no, they do. Cafes are definitely started by young entrepreneurs most of the time, and you'll pinpoint the one that is. It'll be a smaller run spot. It won't be the Starbucks.
How are you able to pinpoint this one?
This one was on a... Here we go, back to the beginning. The gallery that I targeted is on the same street.
Did you ever...
One block down. That's how I chose that cafe.
My question was the answer I was looking for more was like, did you ever do a deal with the cafe before this one that didn't work out?
No, this has been an ongoing 3-year successful campaign.
And you never had
a block away from the big gallery that I'm now part of.
And you never had any art anywhere else that didn't work out?
Well, I mean, possibly.
I guess my point is when you're
trying to... one time in the basement...
My point is when
dude, you know when we went to that basement? Okay, we went in this really weird basement and we did we had a table and we were trying to sell some crafts and no one was really coming in the basement. I did a show in that exact basement. But... I didn't want to be there, so I fucked off and went hang out with some friends. The guy who pitched the show, when I came back, had sold my painting. So, it's really about, like, the person that is organizing it, if you believe in that person, you could fucking take a vacay and the person will still pull it off.
Now here's my point. Where I wanted to lead with that is like, okay, if you're already selling your art and you already have a feel of how that goes, that's great. If you're not, don't start looking for these cafes yet, because you need to have a business sense, like a spidey sense about which one is going to be worth dealing with and which ones are going to be legit, because things can get ripped, things can get damaged.
There's coffee stains on some of the paintings at the cafe.
You're not,
I don't know how it happens. I don't know
who throws cafe on the wall.
It's not even a full stain, but like these little fucking dots of coffee.
So anyway, my point is, you got to be prepared for those kind of things.
He would lose his mind.
You got to be prepared for the possibility that maybe the cafe won't care about selling your art. They just want free decor. So if you're in one of those places, having the contact information for people who are interested to get in touch with you is super, super, super important.
Oh, wait. I do have a nightmare story. Nightmare story. My boy, who runs a great cafe. I hang art there. He sells art like you wouldn't believe. It's just another cafe. I don't run the show there, but he's blessed. He has a neighbor. The neighbor is a shitty person to the art community. And I found out the hard way. He's like, oh yeah, a guy dropped out and doesn't want to do the show. I'm kind of like, I need someone. So he's the neighbor of my boy. So my boy calls me up. He's like, yo, this guy next door, could you help him out? I know you got big art. I know you could probably bail this guy out. So I come. I check out the spot. First of all, they're treating me like I'm a fucking piece of shit. You know what I mean? They're moving my canvases. I put a canvas up a certain way. I come back. It's moved. That's not right, bro. You don't touch a man's canvas. If the man says that it should be here like that, and you're asking for my help, that's where it is. I don't want you touching it with your poutine hands or whatever the fuck. This place was such a shithole. They asked me for more art. Oh, we need more art. And you know why? Because they didn't plaster their fucking walls, and they had all these cracks and holes everywhere. That's not the artist's responsibility. Okay? It's not the artist's responsibility to cover the cracks in your wall because your place is so shitty. And then when I was done, okay, they didn't message me saying, hey, a new person came in. Blah, blah, blah. I walked in and checked on the shit. When I went in to check on the shit, guess where all the canvases were?
In the basement.
Stacked in the kitchen, bro.
Oh, in
Stacked
the kitchen.
in the kitchen. I swear to God, you slip on the floor walking to them. There's so much grease. So, and they were on top of, they weren't on the floor in the grease. No. They were on top of these burger, like what you put a burger in, a styrofoam burger thing. They're all crushed. And, worst, 4-footers, and then the other ones leaned on the 4-footers, so they all get hit. They're all getting stretched. So it was just like, wow, like, first of all, I'm never telling any artist to work with you. And now I'm on the podcast saying, don't work with anybody that's like that, bro. A pub or someone where the place is garbage and they're just asking for you to cover it up so they don't have to work. They're addicts, they're drinkers, they're fucking on blow, and they don't know what they're doing.
And here's the reason that I brought this up about your contact information.
Oh, wait, the best part? When I showed up the first day to, because I'm a fucking snoop, I come in to see how it's working. Show up the first day, they're watching the World Cup on a fucking pull-down in front of all the canvases. So, they told me that what would be a great thing because it's the World Cup, we're going to have so many people. Show up for the World Cup, you're literally covering all my art. Not only do you have no one selling it because you're fucking idiots, but you're literally covering my art and making the statement that you told me a lie. So really don't go out chomping at the bit. Really work with the right person, develop that business sense, and work with the right person. If there's red flags going off, run away, bro, because you're gonna get coffee stains, you're gonna get rips.
Or you're just gonna waste your time.
Dude, coffee stains and rips are from my serious boys that I love that I would never. I don't care if they rip or stain my thing. Okay, the other ones are 10 times worse than rips and stains. 10 times worse, I promise you. Grease stains you can't wash out, and people you can't even talk to because you're literally getting aggravated because they're so disrespectful and all kinds of things.
So
be careful.
The reason I brought the thing up about making sure your contact information is there, and if you had a failure about doing this kind of thing, it's because I did. There was a vape shop that opened, and they asked me. The guy that owned it was a follower of my art on Facebook, and he asked me if I could put my art in his vape shop, and I was super excited because it was the first time somebody had offered to display my art in public. So I did. And I put some of my best work in his thing because I had a small studio at that time. I didn't have a showroom. I didn't have a place where people could come see my art in person.
Here's your first mistake.
So
the best work.
I'm hanging up my art in his place. It looks great. yada yada. So a couple weeks later, I sell one online to one of my fans.
Oh,
now,
no.
we didn't make any agreement on percentage, at least, because he didn't want to be an art gallery. He just wanted to decorate his walls for free and give me that wonderful exposure. So now I sell a painting to one of my clients online. I have to go out of my way to go to this place, get the painting, bring him a new one to hang in its place to go ship it. Okay, now I went back to go get that painting. I see my business cards that I had left him aren't even on their counter. There's the cards I had put with the titles of my paintings and how to contact me aren't even next to the paintings.
They were on the wall thumbtacked.
They weren't like
the gummied or something.
The paintings weren't damaged, but there was no way for anyone to contact me.
Did you put up the contact? I didn't take it down.
No, I had given them the contacts to put. Like I had printed out little cards.
That's a bit your bad though. You expected them to take over.
No, I told them. I said, "Here, hang these next to the art."
But for the real, do it yourself. Okay, don't give that responsibility to someone else because they'll let you down. It's just the truth of business.
I guess you're right, but I mean, in my mind, it was real simple to just.
It's a small price to pay to have free decor that's worth that.
Yeah. Okay, so to continue the story, again, I sold another painting that was at that place. I had to go schlep back over there. It was like, I don't have a car, so it was like, I had to either bug somebody to give me a lift, or I had to take a 2-hour bus ride with a big painting on the bus in the winter. Fuck that. So it ended up being a real pain in the ass. They weren't pitching my art. They didn't care about selling my art. They were just selling their vape juice, and that also is partly my fault because I didn't negotiate any percentage with them to give them any incentive to sell my art. But that's the kind of mistake you can make when you're a beginner and you don't have that spidey sense, that business thing like, ding, 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 this is probably not a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't get me any exposure. They didn't hand out my business cards to anyone. So it was literally I was decorating a business for free.
Yeah.
Now,
the owner.
business should have a budget for decorating, and they can literally buy your art and write it off as a business expense.
Yes. There's no reason for this.
Yeah.
That's why if someone comes up to me and says, "Oh yeah, can I put this up there?" Yeah, can you give me money?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you can't, you ain't getting this art. You can go get your mediocre art. And look, I go to enough places, and when you become savvy in the art world, you see people who are just. They're mooks. They don't want to pay, and that's why their car and their clothes and everything is the way they do it. Mm-hmm. How you do everything is how you do anything, and don't team up with those people. Give 50% to people who know that art, and they're confident that art changes lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I put that art in that business, and now your vape juice is worth that much more, bro. I'm literally telling you. I've been telling him for so long, he has to watch the Toys That Made Us Sarnio episode, where the Papa Sarnio tells you that, bro, I just went around and bought like flip-flops and I put a strawberry on it. And all the people that were making flip-flops couldn't believe that I was selling them for 3 times more than them. I didn't even make flip-flops. But they didn't understand that it's just making things look nicer makes it worth more. And if you're an artist, you have to go in with that confidence of like, no holds barred, bro. If the guy wants to make more money, he has to put money down. That's the karma exchange, and that
Mm-hmm.
proves that he is willing to believe.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're like, "Oh, I want a deal," okay, you're the guy that's looking for deals.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be the guy that's looking for deals.
And it's funny that you mentioned that having the art on it makes them want to pay, because like that's the same thing. Like I get that attitude sometimes from people who see my pens or my bookmarks for sale, and they own like a real estate company or an insurance company, and they see me charging money for my pens and my bookmarks, and they're like, those are promotional items, those should be free. And it's like, no man, I'm an artist, my art's on them. They're not just my phone number and my name of my company. That's my art. You're not paying. That's not a promotional item, that's the item you're buying. So when you're an artist, you can actually get away with selling items that almost every other business doesn't sell. They just give away as promotional items.
Well, the blessing of an artist is that most businesses double their investment. An artist rarely doubles. It's always a triple or more.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why if you're in the business of art, rejoice, because you're actually you will have a license to print money if you do it effectively, and that's why we're doing this podcast. Because if you fucking get any of the tips from 2 successful artists and you apply them in your own life, you're gonna be printing money, yo.
In my opinion, the coolest thing is that we're both successful artists, but we're not mega successful artists yet. But we will be.
Because of the tactics that we're using.
And you're gonna get to come along for the ride.
Yeah.
So you're gonna see, like, for sure, the things we're talking about now are probably not going to be the things we're talking about in a year or two. We're going to have new experiences. We're going to have...
Well, hopefully you come along for a ride and you'll be at a different stage in your career and it'll make sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you'll have us as role models and, like...
Oh, for sure.
You'll be climbing the ladder and you'll always be looking a couple rungs above and be like, it's cool, it's safe, and we'll be like, it's fucking awesome up here.
For sure we'll always...
The weather's great up here.
For sure we'll always come back to the foundation. But say, for example, a big company hits one of us up and says, hey, we want to use your designs on our thing, and now one of us gets $100,000 licensing deal. Like, we're gonna find out how that goes, and then we're gonna share it with you, and you're gonna get to see how that process goes and what might happen with that. You know, who knows? It might not happen like that. But
there's
going to be
different
things,
advice.
There's going to be things that are going to happen in both our careers that are going to take us to next levels that we can't even conceive of right now, or conceive of how those things are going to happen. But they're going to happen.
Well, that's what. Let's bring that up right now. Like, what was the last milestone for you? Describe it, how it felt, and what it meant to you.
Well, for me, honestly, the biggest milestone for me recently has been getting healthy, and it's not really related to my art.
But it is.
Like,
because
it is.
Adam Millward is the business.
You're right.
So, if he's not healthy, the business isn't healthy. So it wasn't even a monetary sale or anything like that.
Yeah.
Mine was, I guess recently, I can't even hold on to a canvas to save my life. And that's a good feeling. But it makes you contemplate, all right, like, maybe I should be fucking asking for more money.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'll be honest, like, I've really been thinking I gotta raise my prices lately. I'm probably gonna have a spring cleaning sale to move some art and lower my prices for, like, a one-day event or one weekend event type of thing. But I'm at the point in my art career where I need to raise my prices. I have the demand for my art. I have art collectors who are hiring me to do custom art, and they're paying me a lot more than my prices are for my other art. So I got to raise my prices on my other art to match up to that, and to allow me the opportunity to move forward and build and experience a little bit less stress in my financial life.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to ask you about that. Like art for me is very up and down. Like, it's very big or low. Like, I have a lot of dips. I'll sell a big painting for, I don't know, say $1,000, and then maybe for a week or two after I won't sell anything. So, like, I have those big ups and downs. Do you have big ups and downs like that in your business?
I think so. I think every business has an up and down. Whether it's like the horoscopes or something, you know, astrology. But there's definitely times where no matter what you do, it doesn't seem like it works. And, you know, just make sure that... I've been an entrepreneur for a long time, so I'm good with money. I have a good relationship with money. I don't spend a lot of money. That's one of my major tactics. Because I don't spend a lot of money, as soon as you give me money, now I can invest money. But I don't invest at all. You know what I mean? I try to keep $1,000 in a bank account to make moves, so that if there is a dip, I can go into that. I can go into that money. So I'm just an old school type of business mentality in the art world. You know, like I create a cushion and I live on that cushion, and I don't buy things stupidly. And I think a lot of people.
Let's talk about that, buying things stupidly.
I think, like, I have friends who try to live the lifestyle of a yuppie, and if you're an up-and-coming artist, bro, that's not conducive. If you want to live like yuppie lifestyle, go do the 9 to 5, and you'll get your assured salary, and there you go. You can live a fucking yuppie lifestyle. But,
no, because I'll be honest with you, like, I know a lot...
You can't be buying craft beers, okay? Period. Make your beer at home, fuck. If you like drinking beer, make a fucking 30-liter of beer for $10.
I know a lot of people who have entrepreneurial dreams, but they'll never pursue them because they have too much debt to give up the security of their job. They have amazing ideas. I know they would work, but they're not willing to take the risk to do them because they have too much debt. So that, like, they're trapped. You're gonna die. They're gonna die in debt, having never lived their dreams. That's how they're gonna die, and I know it.
My side of the story. I know you might not side with this, but the debt is fake, bro. The debt is a prison in your mind. I owe people and the government thousands upon thousands of dollars. I sleep very comfortably at night.
I have less than $1,000 of debt, and for most of my life, I'd have zero debt, and I sleep very comfortably at night too.
And I'm not. okay, look, I'm not saying that I went and bought craft beer and that's how I built the debt. I robbed a credit card, okay, when I was younger. I robbed it. And nothing happens. You can have it die in collections, nothing will happen unless you, like, went to a hospital and got, like, your heart transplant and then tried to bail them on that.
In your case, nothing can happen because you don't have a salary. If you have a salary, something can happen.
No, it cannot.
The government
No, it cannot.
can garnish your wages.
Not on a credit card.
Are you sure?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, if you owe the government money, you better change country or province or state, okay? Because they're gonna garnish the paycheck. But a third party has to bring it to court, and under $10,000, it's a civil matter. They can't even bring it to court. They literally can't, because you don't show up, and then they lose money, and they're like, well, try again next time. And if you don't show up and testify in front of a judge that you, in fact, owe money, it ain't going anywhere. And that's why they sell it to a collection agency. They know that they can't collect, so they sell to a collection agency, and those people believe that if they can just brute force, they'll make 30% pay. So they become way more aggressive.
Yeah, I worked in collections for a while. I know all about that.
So they'll become aggressive, but really, once the debt is sold to a third party, it's over. Because that third party is not the person who deserves the debt. So literally, they broke the contract, and now it's merely a matter of intimidation and bullying, and it really isn't legal what they're doing. So it's super funny.
For me personally, I'm glad I don't even know any of that. I just don't have to worry about it.
Oh, well. I'm big on the legalese. But what I'm trying to tell people is that the prison of the mind is real in our society, okay? The time, Gregorian time, is a construct, okay? Gregorian time isn't even real, guys. The thing that the Vatican doesn't even use it. That's the
See, I don't even want to talk about this. We were talking about why people should, like, not spend frivolously if they're trying to build an art career, not about Gregorian time and the Vatican.
Okay, well, let's just close it off in this umbrella term. Society wants to make you a servant of the tax farm, okay? And they'll use a lot of mental tricks to do so. And if you're being plagued by those mental tricks, just know that they're not fully real, okay? People wake up and put on a government hat. There is no government.
See, now I understand that most of you watching this are not going to share that opinion. Most of you are going to think that if you owe money to your credit card that you have to pay it or your life is over because they're going to send you to collections, and then once you're in collections you're not going to be able to get a loan to buy your car or buy your house or to get your baby fed or to send your kids to school. I understand that. So for me,
if you got to live with loans,
for
though,
my
you're
advice,
fucking up,
my advice is stop wasting money frivolously. If you are in debt and you have that mentality like I do, that if you're in debt you got to pay it off, then start paying it off. Do what you got to do. Sacrifice. Stop buying your coffee at Starbucks on the way to work. Brew it at home and bring it with you in a mug. Stop wasting your money on whatever it is that you waste your... Stop going out to the bar on Friday night and spending $70 and being hungover all day on Saturday because you got out at the bar and then, you know, by the time Sunday rolls around, you're finally recovering, but you're in a bad mood because it's Sunday and you got to go work on Monday.
Try and spend less than $20 a day. That's how I do it.
Just remember...
With gas, bro. I got a car.
Every time
day.
you want to spend money, if you're an artist and trying to build a career out of it, ask yourself what else you could do with it instead. And that for me, that was how I decided whether things were frivolous or not. Because let's face it, you're a human being. You want to enjoy life too.
I'll never go back, dude. There's people who I drop hundreds of dollars on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because I don't spend money frivolously.
Mm-hmm.
So in the scene, someone fucking, check out this thing that I got. And they don't know that I have fucking hundreds of dollars in my pocket. I might blow their fucking mind and buy it off them right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
And, oh my god, other people don't understand how that money fucking appeared in my pocket. He must be so successful. Yes. But also, I don't spend the money. There's people that I literally know that make more money than me and have less money than me. And it's hilarious. It's hilarious to me.
Most people...
Because I look at the things that they bought, and that makes it even funnier.
Most people, like, I have less than $1,000 of debt. Most people that I know that society considers successful have a mortgage and 2 car payments and $20,000 of credit card debt. They would need about $250,000 just to be as broke as I am.
Yeah.
They would need $250,000 before they could say they're as broke as I am.
But that's why I said the construct of the mind is real. Because... once you sign a mortgage, you're signing a 35-year agreement or 25-year agreement that you're gonna basically stay the same and do the same. Okay, but you can always sell the house and that will offset the mortgage. So they can make $250,000 like that. If you're in debt to a mortgage, you can sell your house and get out of it.
Yeah, that's very true. And a lot of people that
It's not really like you're not stuck.
Yeah. You know, like, and here's something that I know I'm gonna get shit for saying this because I don't have kids. And people are gonna be like, "Oh, you don't have kids.
Well,
you don't understand."
Let me shit on you.
Let me finish what I'm gonna say.
Let me shit on you.
So if you have kids and you're worried about providing them the security and, you know, like, I can't sell the house, they need a yard to play in, I can't, like, kids are fucking resilient. Kids will find a way to be happy. Kids will play with a rock and a stick and they'll be fucking happy. They'll kick a can down the side of the road and they'll invent a game with their friends called the can kicking game, and they'll build a little goalpost with 2 rocks and now the can is their soccer ball. That's what kids do. So if you want your kids to be successful as adults, you need to not sell out your dreams for their comfort. Because what they're going to do when they get older is they're going to sell out their dreams for their kids' comfort. Because kids imitate their parents. That's what they do.
So the best thing you can do is
be a good role model and go for it and show them that they can do it too.
No offense to anyone in my kid's life, but trust me, he's gonna look up to me when he grows up, because I'm the one who kept it real. I'm the one who fucking did what he had to do, and I have more money than the other ones anyways, except for my dad, who's a bad rich boy. But you know what I mean? Like, these people who are like, oh, you have to do that job, they literally make less money now. So it's like, what the fuck, bro? And you're not happy, and you take it out on the kid or whatever. And let's just be real. Privileges. If you give your kid too much, you're hurting them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? If you think that like they need to go to the Yale and all that stuff, you're literally destroying their drive. You have to let them. You gotta let them work a little bit. That's how my dad had money. Okay, and I still had to fucking do things. He didn't just fucking shoot money at me. I had to cut the grass, and I hate cutting grass. I always had to do something.
Mm-hmm.
But then you learn that entrepreneurial spirit, that money doesn't fall from the sky. Money always is a aftermath.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you want to do before the math? What's the math? You know? And I worked at my dad's business in the summertime, looking out the window as a teenager, saying to myself, I'm not going to spend my life like this. I'm not giving up my life where I look outside and see summer pass me by and I'm at a desk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So him making me work in the summertime and not giving me the money easily made me think I need to figure out a way to get free. And it took 20 years before I figured it out, you know? At that point. Maybe not 20, 15. It took 15 years to figure it out. But without that, if he just handed me money, then my brain would have, we go to the past, the easiest path.
No, it's very true.
If we just get money handed to us, we're just going to look for the next person to hand us money. And people exist in this world that are like that. You might have a boyfriend that's like that. You might have a girlfriend that's like that. Who literally grew up getting handed money, and now you're the fucking person that's handing them money, okay?
The problem with people that grow up like that is they go through life thinking that everyone else gets handed money too.
I know.
And that's just really not the way reality works. See, I was never handed a lot of money, you know, like I also had to work for pretty much everything I ever got. That's why I started selling chocolate bars when I was 12.
It's not that rich people, all rich people make shitty children. No, dude.
Oh, for sure.
Some people are rich and hold the money and say, nah, you work. And some of my best friends, one guy, he literally didn't have a childhood. His dad was so fucking brutes. But you know what? He's the most responsible person I know. I guess because he didn't have a childhood. But when I think of a role model of I need to be responsible right now, what would Rob do? There you go. Mm-hmm. He literally enters the mind and is like that icon. I would pay my bills and go to sleep on time. Mm-hmm. All right.
And that's something that I grew up with. I grew up with, and I don't mean any disrespect in any way. My parents are amazing people. They did totally the best they could at all times, and I love them to death. They're amazing. But one thing my dad always did was when he would see on TV a athlete do something amazing, or when he would see a guitar player rip an amazing solo, or a keyboard player. My dad plays keyboard in a band, but he had put it aside for many years when he was, having his family and stuff. And
he'd compare?
No, well, he would look at them and he'd say, God, I could never do that. I don't know how he does it. Like, one of those two statements, I just don't know how he does it. Or I could never do that. One of those two statements.
But if you spent your whole life about it and you did it 40 hours a day, then you'd be in a different mind frame.
Exactly.
You're in a different state.
It took me a long time to grow up and to get that mindset out of my head of how could he do it. Because I believed that all these people who were doing these amazing things were magic. I didn't understand. They are, but they aren't.
You are magic too.
I didn't understand that they put years and years and years of focused effort
into that magic
to get there.
Yeah, but it's magic because anyone can do it.
So like this whole talent versus skill thing that I see a lot of conversations happen about in art groups, especially on Facebook.
Nobody born an artist.
A lot of artists come with this attitude that you have to be really skilled to sell art, and if your art doesn't sell without any marketing, then your art isn't good. And that's just bullshit. So if you're one of those artists that has that attitude, first of all, good fucking luck ever selling any of your art. Second of all, don't shit on other artists who really worked hard to build an audience for their art and make this stuff that we're talking about.
And be real, it's not just the technique of pushing the liquid paint on a canvas, okay? What sells art is charisma, presence. It's the artist that's selling it, right? So if the person put a lot of energy into being a good MC and really owning a crowd when he comes into a room and really working a crowd, you have to honor that. And the person could basically put a fucking there might be an artist that just puts a line on a fucking canvas, but if he does it when he runs the actual, it becomes like he's a great entertainer, and that line is everything. Okay? So a lot of artists believe that it's all they want to believe that it's just that, and they can walk away and that paint on the canvas does the rest.
Yeah, that's
Don't be delusional.
Not true.
Don't
That's
be delusional. That's not what it is.
True. That's extremely, extremely, extremely rare.
Name one artist. Comment on the bottom. One famous artist that that's all he did.
Yeah, does that. You don't know anything about them. You just know that the art is so sick. You just know their art's amazing. You don't ever see them do shows or make podcasts or do blog posts or get interviews.
No, we're talking about even back in the day. There's Da Vinci, right? He's a great character and famous and a genius, and his art was awesome too. Find me another Renaissance guy where the art was just they love him more than Da Vinci. Well, maybe not more, but just as much, and there's no real name attached. Because I'll tell you, it's Raphael, Leonardo, Donatello, and Da Vinci out there, boy, because they were personalities. Mm-hmm. And obviously in the New Age, the Andy Warhol, the Keith Harings, the Basquiat's.
I'll be honest, I don't study art history. It doesn't really interest me.
You should study art history because if you're in the art of business, you got to get any information that you possibly can and then put it through your own filter of what you think they did right, apply it, see if it works. That's the scientist method.
See, totally respect what you're saying. Just for me, it doesn't interest me. Art history is there's so many artists.
But your genre could be the art history. You don't have to go back in time. The visionary art scene for you is an ongoing, it's literally happening in the now. Mm-hmm. There's research that can be done.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I guess I'll leave that up to historians. I'm not interested in art history myself.
Okay. You have to be. What you're doing is you're writing the history right now, and as an artist, if you really want to be visionary and you want to break the mold, you have to understand that you are writing things right now in the now that you can't 10 years from now, but everyone's going to be writing it then.
Oh, that's cool. If I'm part of art history, I just don't care about what some guy did 70 years ago in Paris.
Oh, okay.
I'm just not... I know the name Basquiat, I know the name Keith Haring. Keith Haring, I know his art, but there's so many artists that people come at me with, and it's I go Google them and I didn't know who they were. People tell me this style of my art.
Okay, but this
makes
is the thing.
them think of Mondrian, and I'm like, who the hell's Mondrian?
But
I have no idea what that is.
If you are superficial about Keith Haring, then you think it's his art, and this is what I'm trying to bring up. It's not his art. If you look into the Keith Haring, the tidbit that you'll get is how Keith Haring got famous. He wrote in the subway system illegally, okay, and would do those drawings. That's how those drawings got famous, because millions of people in New York saw them every day, okay, and then they wanted it because it was part of their life. Mm-hmm. So maybe you should paint on the streets. Tidbit. Second tidbit is all the artists thought that he was fucking crazy when he said, I'm going to put my art on shirts, open up a shop in Brooklyn, and sell shirts with my art on it, not canvases. All the artists said, that's going to depreciate your fucking work, and you're stupid. Oh, yeah? He got his art out to even more people, and it made the paintings worth even more. Another tidbit: put your art on T-shirts. Okay, that's why you research the art history, because in the folds are the true nuggets. Okay,
And
if you want to dig for gold, you gotta dig. You can't just survey a land and just be like, this has it, without digging.
My gut feeling is after you said that, there's going to be a certain percentage of artists who are watching this going, my art doesn't go on T-shirts. And you know what? I've seen landscapes on T-shirts. I've seen portraits on T-shirts. I've seen abstracts on T-shirts. If somebody really loves your art, you can make the jankiest T-shirt in the world, and somebody's going to buy it.
Tidbit information from me. If you think your art can't go on a T-shirt, just get sublimated pocket T-shirts, which is a shirt where the pocket has your art on it. The pocket's already in a square or a shape. Okay? So therefore, no matter what your art is, like Adam's art is mandalas, they'll be great shirts. If it's an all-over mandala shirt, you're cringing me, bro. I'm never wearing this. But a black shirt, a gray
What
shirt,
are you talking
a
about?
white shirt. You don't have an all-over, do you?
I do.
Okay, so he's going to show you the all-over. I would never wear it. But a mandala on a pocket, look, you got my money, you know? So that's just a tidbit for me. I've been making clothes since I'm 18. If you think your art can't go on a shirt, that's the easiest avenue to get it on a shirt. And from there, you can start learning the skills on how you actually do it. Here's a sublimated shirt.
Here's my sublimated shirt, Waking Life. It's available at iloveyoupassiton.com. This is a really cool project, actually, that I'm doing. I Love You Pass It On is a project out of Toronto that part of the proceeds when you buy one of these shirts actually goes to getting food and warm clothing directly into the hands of homeless people in Toronto. They go out on the streets, they take the money that's earned from these shirts, and they literally buy warm food or make peanut butter sandwiches and things, and they go out on the street or buy socks or sweaters.
So if you want homeless people to be eating mock chicken and bologna in between some Wonder Bread, then you better get these shirts, boy.
And if you want them to stay warm in the winter, I know it's coming up to spring, but in the winter in Toronto, man, it can go to -20, and these, some of these people are mentally ill. Like,
that's for real.
For me, this is amazing. It gives me a warm feeling inside just to know that in some way my art's helping people and helping the I Love You Pass It On project get more exposure.
Great project, so check it out, Google it. This is what I was talking about. It's not a pocket, but see how his art was on a square. A square got put over the heart, and it's really nice. And dude, you know what's even nicer? That's not screen printed. That's actually embroidered in the garment. That is one of the highest class garments I've ever seen. And how long have you been putting your art on shirts and stuff?
Not that long.
Okay, so that's just a tidbit from me. If you want to jump the races and just get right to the finish line, your art right there. Anyone can do it, okay? And if you embroider it, forget it. But your art, it depends on what your style is. Some styles not embroiderable. Most, and that's why I said sublimated pocket shirts, okay? Because if your art has so many colors and so many textures, it's the only way to get it on.
Now, if you're listening to this, don't play the victim and be like, what are sublimated pocket shirts? Go Google and type in sublimated pocket shirts.
A guy who literally has been doing it for 20 years just gave you, like, the tip that I shouldn't be giving you. But it's a podcast, so I'm going to give you tips around the clock.
Now, here, I actually, we've got, I'm in my second shirt here already. I got a new shirt that I'd like to shout out. Well, do your thing first here.
No, I'm not blocking you. I'm just showing that mine's embroidered, baby. I piss on Nike.
There you
Yeah.
So look, I met this guy online who's a pretty big fan of my art, and I think we're also big fans of each other's, entrepreneurial hustle. And he made these shirts.
What's his project called?
His project.
I Love You Pass It On.
No, this is a different guy.
Oh.
This is Stop Bitching, Start Doing. So that's why I brought it up right now, because we were saying don't be the victim. Stop bitching, start doing. I love this message on this shirt. And the guy's name who is running this, his name is Mike Abernathy. You can check him out on Facebook. And where you want to go for these is the letter B -ambitious.
We'll put it in the comments below.
myshopify.com/collection. And I will put it in the comments
in the description or something, okay, bud? And this is a great point to make.
Stop bitching, start doing.
Your art doesn't need to be the shirt. Your message, your why could be the shirt, And that's going to get it out to way more people than your art. And then they're going to go look at your art, bro. So that's why we made You're Gonna Die shirts. Don't you get it? We're not going to do a collab where it's a Mickey with no eyes on a sand mandala. Because we already did that and we sold it. So this is about really getting the message across.
You're gonna
die. You gotta live life to the fullest. You gotta do your passions. And as soon as you do your passions, people are gonna love you.
Right.
The people in your network are gonna love you because you're gonna become that beacon that took the first step on the ladder that they're gonna be asking for advice from.
Mm-hmm. And
it's a very fulfilling thing. I promise you.
For me, like one of the, and I've said it a few times, and I'll probably say it many more times during this podcast. For me, one of the big reasons I want to do this podcast is I genuinely want to give artists a leg up, a practical leg up. I want you to succeed. I want you to be creating art and selling it and living your dreams and making this world a better place. Because the more people there are like me and Germ living our dreams, making it happen, showing that sometimes there's a struggle during all of that, and letting you know that, you know what, it's not all that hard. It's really pretty easy. It's just a lot of things to do. Like,
it's easy if it's your passion.
There's no one thing that makes the whole thing work. It's all the little things, and if it's your passion, you'll learn all those little things. But you won't learn them by watching Netflix. You won't learn them by
going to the mall.
By going to the mall.
Before.
You won't learn well, you might learn them if you go to the mall and run into Germ.
Today they had Enter the Duat on the Spring Equinox, a booth that said Enter the Duat. So
the Duat is the Egyptian underworld.
Underworld,
right?
Yeah. So it's just like it's a temple of backwardness. The mall. Okay, they don't even know what's going on. It's the Equinox, and they're talking about the underworld. It's just like perfect timing. So,
our point is, like, stay focused. Do what you want to do. If you want to build your career, it's not going to happen by magic. It's not going to happen by someone giving you a phone call and saying, hey, I want to make you rich. I saw your art online once. It's not going to happen. You have to...
Okay, but let's be real. Because it's Equinox, you're going to have to drop some people.
Oh, 100%.
Okay?
100%.
Because what's going to happen is... you're going to start to raise your vibrational frequency, if you want me to get metaphysical about it, and it's going to bring in other people into your community. You're going to surround yourself with like-minded people. When that happens, you got to let some people go, okay? They had the choice to grow with you, and if they're not growing with you, then that's where they need to stay, because they will bring you down. If you go around those people, you will couple your vibrations, and they will bring your vibration down.
Yeah,
okay, they'll talk to you about some whack shit, they'll bring up whack shit, and it literally will bring you down. I don't care how tough you are. It happens to me, it happens to everyone, okay?
No, it happened to me a lot, especially at the beginning, and I spoke about it in the last episode. Like, there was all kinds of people who tried to discourage me. And they thought they were helping me. They thought they were saving me from future disappointment. Most of them are either they're not part of my life, or they've turned and now they're fans.
Okay, hey, they went to the light.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I had people that started off with that attitude towards me who buy my art now. So, you know, like, but it's just human nature. You know, it's easy to talk a lot when you haven't done a lot. But the proof to other people is going to come from the doing, not the talking. So if you're telling other people around you about what your plans are and your passion and your dreams, and I'm going to be an artist, I'm going to work, people are going to tell you you're stupid and you're fucking dreaming in Technicolor.
And also don't tell them you're going to drop them because they're lame.
Yeah,
when I'm telling you that, you don't tell them. You just tell yourself.
Only once you start growing will those people that want to stay with you, because there's going to be people that even as you're growing, they'll be like, oh, well, of course, you're just selling art. You're not making art for passion. You're just trying to sell now. You changed. I used to love your art, but now that I see it with price tags, I feel like you're just a business. I had all kinds of people that treated me like that at the beginning. They unfriended me. They wrote me messages about how mandalas shouldn't be sold and da 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 da.
But that's a true thing that all artists are gonna go through. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is like that little. Everyone likes an underdog, and then when you're successful, you're gonna have a little bit of a
dip.
You're gonna have a dip, okay? And it's gonna be weird. But right before you get really successful, you're gonna have that final test, which is people are gonna think that people are supporting you, so they don't have to support you. It's gonna be a very weird time.
And Chris Dyer warned me about that when I took one of his business courses. The one where he told me you can't ever expect to earn a full-time living working as an artist if you're not working as an artist full-time. And I forget what I was going to say.
Well, what I brought up is that some people are believe that people
Chris,
are supporting
Chris
you, so they
warned
don't
me
have
that
to.
that phase was going to happen. Chris warned me that your art career is going to get to a point where everybody thinks you're rich. And you're not. You haven't sold anything in 3 weeks, and people are thinking you're making millions of dollars because they see you on Facebook every day, and they see you posting nice art, and they see you with successful people. You know, I post a picture of myself at Cosm with Alex Gray. They think I'm rich. They don't understand that I put that train ticket and the trip and the room on my credit card, and it cost me $1,200.
The point is, don't waver. Okay, don't get scared, because what's actually happening is you're going into a new vibrational frequency with the collectors, people who actually understand and honor the art. Okay, and that's a whole different wavelength. When you're there, it'll be a lot different. But before that, you're leaving the world of the people who were supporting you that didn't necessarily want the art.
Germ wasn't in my life until like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago now. I don't know how long.
You called me in.
But
most people do.
I'll be totally honest. I was sick. I was depressed. The friends that I hung around with were not artists, and they were always trying to hire me to come work in their call centers that I used to work in. And I really, really, really didn't want to do that. So we'd get in arguments about, like, man, like, why are you complaining about the fact you're sick and you can't, like, you have no money? It's like, just come work for me. That was their solution. Dude, stop complaining about the fact you're sick. Come work for me. At least you'll have money. And it's like, bro, I'm sick. I can't sit in a fucking chair for 9 hours a day at a call center and pitch.
Yeah, you're not hearing the problem. The problem is that you're not healthy, and that's what's causing the finances to dip.
So
you need finances.
I keep butting heads with people, and like I didn't enjoy hanging around with them. I left my old friend. I left
in worse health,
feeling worse than I did when I met them. And that's gonna happen.
That's why.
That's gonna happen.
Because
and it kind of sucks. Some of those people that it might happen with might be your friends from the time you were a little kid.
But bless them. They were there for you, and they're great friends, and you'll probably be there for them when they need you. But there's no shame in growing up, bro. Like, yeah, I know people that have been friends forever, and that's awesome. But what I do in my life, it's impossible. It's literally impossible. And the real blessing is the ones that I get to see that I've known for 20 years. That's the true blessing, because those characters, you see it in their eyes that they believe there's a way out, and that's why they're still holding on in some regards, you know? They're still holding on because they believe. The other ones have let go, discredited, whatever they need to tell themselves to sleep at night. And I don't even, if they're haters, who cares, bro? Because I don't hear them, because they're not on my radio frequency. But I think that's real in all businesses, okay? And I've seen it in most of my entrepreneurial friends. They get new friends. They literally have to, because like you can't even talk to your old friends about business, your life.
Oh yeah, they don't understand, not at all.
People I come over, I'm like, Adam, how's your fucking day? And I can relate.
People that have a salary will never understand what it's like to not have a salary ever for many years in a row. They just don't understand. And if you are going through a stressful period as a business entrepreneur and you are talking about it to someone who has a salary, they're not going to be able to understand that.
I know, they traded their freedom for security, so they have security.
Exactly, but they don't have freedom. And I'm free. I get up every day whenever the fuck I want. I very rarely set an alarm. I go to bed when I want.
Now, let's be real. That doesn't mean that you fucking are napping.
No, you know not at all. Like, but it means, like, say for example...
sometimes works until 10 a.m.
What it means is, say I start painting at 2 a.m. and I'm really in the zone, and normally I go to bed at 5 a.m., but I'm really in the zone. I'm going to stay up till 10 a.m. because it's not like, oh shit, I have to get up in a few hours to go to work. It's like, no, I can sleep till 3 in the afternoon if I want to. I'm free.
Yeah, that's freedom.
That's freedom, is when you're in the zone, you can stay in the zone. You don't have to look at your watch and be like, man, I'm really in the zone, but I got to get up in 5 hours, so I gotta go set my alarm and sleep to go do the shit that I don't want to do.
I get this from my dad all the time, which is like, I was up at 5 a.m. You know, as if it's some sort of accomplishment, you know, and it's like, bro, I don't. He's a Leo too, so there's no rebuttal there. If you rebuttal, you're starting to fight. So you basically. But the funny thing in my mind is that, like, what my mind says is like, but bro, I've worked 20 hours in this day, and you're talking about how you. No, I think we're back.
Are we back?
I think we're back.
Okay.
We got reconnected on my dad's story there.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Hopefully you guys didn't experience too much of a glitch.
We're going to find out later, because this is the new tactic that we're trying, which is going straight live. So there's a little bit of technical difficulties, but I feel like
There's a little bit
It's
of
easier
technical
for our
difficulties.
business, bro.
I gotta be honest.
I don't
like,
want to have to upload after.
I gotta pee soon. So are we like? Do I go now and continue this, or are we gonna wrap it up soon?
Let's wrap it up.
All right.
Because
Yeah.
I'm not even sure. We didn't keep a clock, and I can't see the clock
Yeah,
because
there's
we're
no
live
clock.
now. So we don't even know how long we've been going for.
I'm pretty sure it's been an hour and a half at least.
Do you remember what time we started at?
Not even a clue.
So now you guys are really in for a ride here because this shows you how we're just going by the seat of our pants and why being effective with these things and streamlining it makes it so much easier. If we want to have more podcasts, one of the best things we could do, it's 6:40, one of the best things we could do is go live.
Mm-hmm.
Because that way we can just do it, we can sit down, we can talk, we're done, it's over, we don't have to think about it.
I don't have to go wait for uploads to happen.
That slows down the rest of the
slows down
internet.
the rest of the internet.
Because like we said, we work a lot, you know? So even that little hitch is something you won't want to do, and then we won't want to do the podcast.
Yeah, I don't want to upload 3 videos for every podcast. I want to upload no videos because it's already uploaded because we went live.
Yeah, and then maybe we'll do 3 a week.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like so goddamn easy. We just sit down and fucking do it.
I'll be honest, I have fun. I mean, me and Germ are friends anyway. We sit around and talk anyway. So by turning the camera on and actually like focusing on talking to you guys and like really focusing what we're talking about, I'll be honest, after I get off of these podcasts, I'm energized.
He's rejuvenated. Yeah,
I'm
he's
rejuvenated
fucking, yeah.
because I've
I
been
feel it.
really focused about art and the business side of it. So
Yeah.
I get off the couch and I want to go do all the things that I just told you all to do that sometimes I'm like, I kind of don't feel like it. I need to go eat something. Like
That was me last night. I come over, we're supposed to do the podcast, and I'm like, bro, like, I just don't have the energy. He was literally like,
I was mad at him.
he's like, come on, you know? And that's why today, here we are. We're going to do it.
The only reason